Stay tuned and let's take a look at this Marvel Legends Spider-Man retro card back, Ben Reilly Spider-Man. Pow and welcome back to the channel, Dan Who Reviews. As always, my name is Dan W. Make sure you are following me on Instagram at It's Dan Who. And remember, you can now hit that join button and become a channel member as well. Quite simply, show some love or join the members club. Much appreciated. Today we continue looking at the Marvel Legends Spider-Man retro card back line, one of my favourite lines. And today we have Peter Parker's very own clone. It is, of course, Ben Reilly Spider-Man. So we have had this particular character design before in Marvel Legends, of course, but now they have gave it us not only on this new retro card, but also on a new updated body. This is the retro Spider-Man body, arguably the best body mold for a Spider-Man. Lots of great range and makes for a very fun figure. And for his accessories, they have gave us the right amount of hands this time round, as we get wall crawling hands up here, web sweeping hands on the figure, and then a set of fisted hands as well. So again, as standard, these are what should come with all Spider-Man figures, so I'm happy with that. We get Ben Reilly Spidey there on the side. We get web shooters up there at the top because, of course, he comes with his two little gauntlet pieces. On the retro packaging, as always, it's beautiful. Long may they like this line continue. We get all the other figures in this second wave of Spider-Man figures, as well as a little an homage to the stencil that was on the old Toy Biz Play features, as well as a write-up that reads, after years of self-imposed exile, Spider-Man is back, now calling himself Ben Reilly and sporting a brand new costume and web shooters. The wall crawler returns to fight crime. So yeah, a welcomed addition to our Spider-Verse on our shelves, and he is a 616 character too. So let's get them open. So here we have Ben Reilly out of the packaging with all those interchangeable hands. As I said, 3 complete sets of hands. And this is one of those character designs that I got rid of in my collection a while ago. Like, I wasn't the biggest fan of the alternative Ben Reilly Spider-Man and the Clone Saga. So I actually got rid of this and the Scarlet Spider. So I actually don't have the Carnage version of Ben Reilly Spider-Man to compare him to. I've got the Scarlet one, but he's still in the vintage packaging that I haven't really opened yet. So this is going to be the first Ben Reilly Spider-Man I'm going to have on my current display, because my current display has been mainly like animated inspired, and this guy did not appear in the animated show, not at least to my knowledge anyway, because I believe this storyline was happening in the comics while the animated show was still on TV type thing. So anyway, it's a character design that I'm very happy to add to the collection, especially now in this updated design, and now I'm sort of going all in with Legends. I'm like, why not? The Spider-Verse has opened up, let's just go crazy. So let's move these hands out of the way, let's zoom in and take a look. So Ben's Spider-Man uniform is quite similar to the classic one with his own twists. It's still got the same colours, still got the web design, but it has got a unique sort of style. So let's check that out. The head sculpt is exactly the same though as the previous retro Spider-Man, I think. Has the web lines, has the sculpted out eyes, and if I bring in the retro Spider-Man one, you'll see what I'm saying. Like, it's the same head sculpt, right? Like, I can't really tell if there's a difference there, but yeah, there you go. Let's see if they're both in frame. See if it will focus on both. It looks like the exact same head sculpt to the previous retro version. There's the retro version, there's Ben Reilly. So yeah, maybe the same head sculpt up top. All the difference though is in the torso piece, because we still get the web lines that we're used to seeing with Spider-Man, but now that Spider logo on the front is massive, and all the legs go out across the body and attach to another Spider here at the back. So you still get the really clean web lines, to be fair, and then this extra Spider has all the legs. And when you start articulating the butterfly joints and the shoulders, you see those web lines and the Spider legs will continue through, so it doesn't break up the pattern. So that's a good touch here as well on the front. Start articulating that and you still get those spider lines as well. So you still will have a nice design on the front of the figure even when you start articulating it. Same with the torso piece here. As you start moving it, of course, back and forth, you're still going to be able to match up the pattern. So that's pretty good, to be fair. But other than that, the head sculpt seems very similar. The arms are all blue, and of course this time around he's now got these sort of web sort of shooters attached here to the wrists, which are these little gauntlet pieces. I'm assuming if I take the hand off, they may be a separate piece. Yep, they're a separate piece. So they come off. Oops, have I lost it? No, I haven't. So there you go. These web shooters are a separate piece that attach to the wrist. And there you go. Hopefully I've put that back on correctly, but that clips back on no problem at all. It does spin once it's on there anyway. Down to the legs, all blue again. A little bit of red down the gloves. And then down here on the sort of calves, you've still got the web design with the red on the feet, with the blue inside, but then the red outside. Again, unfortunate disadvantage of pinned figures is that you can't get 2 colour pins. So they've went for the red pin so it matches on the outside, but then on the inside, you get red pins sticking out where they should be blue. So it's a shame. This body mold is a great body mold with great range of articulation, but now knowing we can have pinless legs, seeing stuff like this in 2022 is a little bit frustrating. Like, you can give us pinless legs, but you can't give us two coloured pins, multi-coloured pins. Crazy. I don't know how it works though, so I can't be too mad. Yeah, there you go. But yeah, other than that, figure looks great. They've went for the blue pins out the arm, so the blues both sides. That's not a hindrance. But yeah, all in all, very unique design for Ben Reilly. Very unique to him, of course, and obviously similarities to the classic, but with its own twists. So he comes with 3 sets of hands, and all the hands have like red fingertips as well. So all of them will still have a little bit of red up top. But we get a set of fisted hands, web shooting, swipping hands, which are very nice. You can see the red fingertips more so on these. And then always a welcome addition, the wall crawling hands. And as you can see, you've still got the actual web lines on the fingertips as well, which is a nice touch with this particular design. First comparison, here we have the 2 other Spider-Man figures that come in this second wave of Spider-Man retro figures, and all of these look great. The symbiote Spider-Man obviously shares the same retro body as Ben Reilly, but yeah, all of these are great. Go and check out the videos tab and the playlist for all of my reviews on this second wave of retro Spider-Man figures. As I said right at the start of the video, I don't really have any other Ben Reilly Spider-Man figures in my collection. I know there's a Carnage one, I know there's a Scarlet one, and that Scarlet one actually comes with an unmasked head, which I'll get into in a second. But here we have the classic OG retro Spider-Man, and then our old beloved pizza Spider-Man. Remember when this was like the grail for legend collectors and it was like crazy aftermarket price? Times have changed, but they're still a great figure. He'll always be standing on my shelf eating some pizza, but yeah, all 3 look great. Here we have Ben Reilly with Peter Parker, of course, and Mary Jane. So obviously, Ben Reilly is a clone of Peter Parker, so you could take this head and put it on this body if you wanted to. I'm sure it'll work. But we did get a blonde version of this exact head with the vintage wave version of the Scarlet Spider-Man, where he's in that slightly metallic blue. But I've still got it in the box, and I'm not opening it just to review this figure. So instead, I'm going to try and pop on this new vintage wave Johnny Storm head, as that's a blonde head. That might work. So to be honest, I think that works pretty well, even though I know it's Johnny Storm, so I couldn't stay in my collection because I've got crazy OCD. But the blue eyes, the blonde hair, that could definitely work as an unmasked head for your Ben Reilly Spider-Man, no problem at all. But this particular head, unfortunately though, is a little bit wobbly on the peg. Like, you can see how crazily wobbly that is, but it can still work. And yeah, I think you could fudge it. Why not? Continuing comparisons, here we have Ben Reilly compared to Spider-Man UK and Kane. Throwing some females in the mix, here we have Cindy Moon, Silk and Black Cat. Some classic Spidey bad guys, here we have Venom and Carnage. For some classic comic book Avengers, here we have Captain America, the 80th version, and then the brand new exclusive Doctor Strange. And then last and of course not least, here we have Ben Reilly Spider-Man compared to Captain Britain and Hellfire Hank. Final thoughts, this is a solid Ben Reilly Spider-Man figure and a welcomed addition to my collection, considering I don't have any other versions of Ben Reilly right now on the shelf. As I said, for me it was at that awkward time where I'd look at this and think, that's not my Spider-Man, that's not my Peter Parker. Sort of similar to AOA X-Men, where I'd look at them and think, that's not my X-Men. That was the situation with this Ben Reilly, because if things didn't look like my mind's eye version of characters, and as I said, I love the animated show so much, I'd be like, that's not right, that's not for me. So in my early days of collecting, I actually got rid of all my Ben Reillys, but now the Spider-Verse has opened the floodgates, so yeah, I'm all in now. As I said, I do have that Scarlet Spidey on the vintage card, just not opened it up, but Ben Reilly will sit on the shelf, that is for sure, and maybe we will get another Scarlet Spidey on this retro card, even though I don't think they did ever release it back in the day. Same as this figure. I don't think this version of Spider-Man was ever released on the retro card, but I could be wrong, but I know I didn't have it. But you let me know, did you have it? Did it exist? In the comments below. Are you a fan of Ben Reilly? Are you a Peter Parker or a Ben Reilly guy? Like, technically they're the same clone guy, but do you know what I'm talking about? What was your Spider-Man? Because some people grew up during the Clone Saga reading comics and this is their favourite Spider-Man. So if you're one of those people, let me know in the comments below. You must be very happy to get this. But as always, if you want to see all the other reviews in this retro Spider-Man wave, check out the videos tab, find the playlist, but most importantly, please hit that subscribe button. Much appreciated. You can also hit that join button and become a channel member as well. Either show some love or join the members club. Much appreciated. You can follow me on Instagram at It's Dan Who. And I'm on Twitter as well at Dan Who Reviews. Tweet me and I'm Dan W, and I will of course see you on the next one.